Alright guys, if you've been following along, then you know that I recently overwatered my green beans. Now, it's been a couple days since I've pruned them, and I just want to give you guys a quick update as to what's going on. Now, they are definitely looking a little bit healthier than the last time that we saw them. They are a darker green. They're not as yellow as they were, and a lot of these smaller leaves that I left are now starting to grow a little bit bigger, and I think pruning them was definitely the smarter option. Now, another thing I want to tackle with these green beans is there's too many of them in that bucket. They're going to deplete the nutrients in there at some point. So today I just want to pull out the weakest looking green beans and the ones that are closest together so that the remaining green beans have a better chance of reaching down to those nutrient sources in the soil so that they can grow bigger and actually give me a good harvest down the road when it's time for green beans to actually start growing. Looking at this, it's a pretty easy choice in my opinion as to which ones I want to get rid of. So I'm not going to touch any of these three because they do have the largest leaves at this point. They do look the healthiest. This one I do see has a lot of different leaves that are starting to form on these little notches right here, but it's too close to this one and it's just going to compete for nutrients. So I'm just going to pull this one out and hope it doesn't disrupt too much of the soil. Just kind of pat that down a little bit. And then as far as these two, the leaves on this don't really look as healthy. And I see that this one has a couple more that are starting to grow. So I think I'm just going to pull this one out as well. So the roots, as you can see, have started to grow in there. So I'm hoping it didn't rip up any of the roots that were in there. I'm sure there's a healthier and better way that I could have taken these out, but I'm not really too focused on that. I just want to get them out. Okay, so now that I've taken those two out, I'm going to leave the remaining 5. I think this is probably the most that I would leave in the bucket. But as far as it goes right now, I don't think there's really any reason to pull out any other ones. But if I see that those two that have the smaller leaves aren't really producing much or aren't really growing, I might just end up taking those out and just leave the 3 that actually have leaves on them.